you will receive further instructions. Thank you for your attention.
Good afternoon, everyone. Professor Inda Ramnarain, Deputy Principal, St. Augustine Campus, and other members of the campus executive management team, deans, heads, and the members of the UWI St. Augustine Campus, Dr. Deirdre Charles, Director of the Division of Student Services and Development, and other managers of the division, other directors of the St. Augustine Campus, Ms. Michelle Dindial, Branch Sales Manager, UWI Branch, and other managers and representatives of the Republic Bank Limited, our sponsor, representatives of the Guild of Students, our company representatives and industry stakeholders, specially invited guests, our final year students of the UWI St. Augustine Campus, Mr. Ryan Askew, our featured speaker, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. We will now start this afternoon's proceeding with a quick introduction of the World of Work program.
My final year students, the World of Work program started more than 25 years ago, and the reason why it was started was to help the students then to develop important skills such as communication skills, negotiation skills, and also to help them prepare the perfect resume and also to perform perfectly in an interview. We continue this program to engage in developing your soft skills. But in this era, soft skills have now become hard skills. This philosophy is just as important as it was then, where the soft skills are required for you, our final year students. There's a difference though. In this era, soft skills have now become hard skills. What do I mean by that? The employers are more interested in your communication skills, your analytical skills, and this is what the World of Work program is ensuring. The World of Work program is made up of many components. Each component is very important. You have your seminar, there's resume writing workshops, there is preparation for your interviews, there's the mock interview, as well as the recruitment fair. Imagine we are preparing you for the mock interviews to enable to give you the competitive advantage over other persons who have engaged in tertiary level education. I can't end without thanking our sole sponsor, Republic Bank. Without them, this World of Work program would not have been possible. So a great thank you to RBL. Students, I'm saying it twice because I want you to engage and participate in all the elements and components of the World of Work program. It will help you gain competitive edge. It will help you be the distinctive UWI graduate. See you there.
Thank you, Dr. Charles, Director Student. She's at the front here. A warm welcome. And as she says, this program has been in existence for over 25 years, before we were born. On behalf of the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine Campus, the Division of Student Services and Development, the Department of Careers, Co-curricular and Community Engagement Initiatives, and our sponsor, Republic Bank Limited, welcome to the official launch of the UWI RBL World of Work program, a program that has continually cultivated the workforce of tomorrow for over 25 years. The World of Work program, in collaboration with our sponsor, Republic Bank, has evolved into a ready and reliable ecosystem for tomorrow's workforce, tomorrow's leaders, and tomorrow's innovators. Our theme, launching your career with 21st century skills and competencies, reflects the university's commitment to producing global citizens. We have joined other higher education institutions worldwide to raise awareness of the relevance of skills and competencies in defining who you are as an individual and as a professional. And so it gives me great pleasure to be in this room with this unique trifecta of individuals who represent a collaboration that will lead us into the future of work in Trinidad and Tobago, the region, and indeed the world. Today, we are joined by our program sponsor, Republic Bank Limited, and our stakeholders. Indeed, they are the first part of the trifecta. They are confident in the university's ability to produce a distinctive UWI graduate. Students with the skills and competencies needed to thrive in the 21st century workforce with all its challenges, all its possibilities, innovation, potential growth, and of course, the rewards. Our stakeholders' continued commitment is a testament to their belief in your abilities. They partner with us to ensure that the workforce of tomorrow has the academic knowledge, skills, and competencies needed in the workforce, and they eagerly await your transition. The University of the West Indies is the second part of the trifecta. Our faculty members ensure you acquire the industry-specific skills as you engage with your curriculum content. In collaboration with the Division of Student Services and Development, we offer opportunities to deepen your understanding of how these skills transfer to the workplace. As a result, we, the members of the university community, continue to provide interventions such as the World of Work program to build the 21st century employee. In addition to your distinctive UWI graduate attributes, which can be found in your package which you received on entry, it's our little internal competency indicator. In addition, offices such as the Campus Office of Planning and Institutional Research recently surveyed our employers locally and regionally for feedback on the skills they expect our graduates to demonstrate. I will introduce you to the top 5 of these skills based on the research. Skill number 1, communication skills, verbal and written. Your analytical and critical thinking skills, sector or industry-specific technical skills, emotional intelligence, and your leadership skills are all required. You'll note that our theme is aimed towards assisting you in developing your unique set of competencies and becoming aware of how you apply them effectively in real-world settings. What will set you apart is having these skills and demonstrating the associated behaviors in the workplace. Employers want to see you demonstrate these characteristics, which are also known as soft skills, transferable skills, employability skills, or workplace competencies. These competencies will set you apart from other graduates in your chosen field. Know what they are and know how you operationalize them. There are other factors that you can leverage, and as you move through the program, you will become more aware of what these factors are and how you can leverage them. My dear students, the final component of the dynamic trifecta. Take advantage of opportunities to improve your skills. It is critical that you understand the competencies required in your field, who you are, what you bring to the table, and what competencies you need just to work a little bit more on. The competency tracker, which is included in your package, will assist you in accomplishing this, and you learn more about it as the program progresses. However, we encourage you, be reflective and identify people in your network who can validate those competencies. It will serve you well in the years ahead. Over the course of the year, we will assist you in identifying these competencies and communicating them on your resume during interviews, networking opportunities, on LinkedIn, and ultimately in the workplace. Students, we believe in you, the game changers. You are the entrepreneurs and innovators, the generation of let's do this, generation never say never, the generation concerned with the environment, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and ensuring that your voice is heard. We challenged you, COVID challenged you, and you triumphed. We have seen you work hard at adulting, and we are confident in your ability to thrive. Our stakeholders are confident in your abilities. This is why the university, our sponsor, and our stakeholders collaborate year after year to deliver an interactive, engaging, developmental hub of workshops, interventions, internships, and career possibilities. These are created exclusively for you, UWI St. Augustine campus students. Please take advantage of the workshops we have designed to help you. But students, don't just listen to me. Let's hear a testimony from one of our past World of Work students now living and thriving in the Netherlands.
Hello everyone, my name is Satay Singh, and 10 years ago I was sitting where you are now. Today, however, I am an electrical signature analysis specialist in one of the fastest growing tech companies in Europe. My particular role is helping to develop and use artificial intelligence to improve asset reliability across the world. So how did I go from where you are to where I am now? To put it simply, my launchpad was the World of Work program. And here's just some of the ways that this program helped me in my career. The resume writing workshops taught me how to create a professional and effective resume. I learned different tips and tricks which helped me when I needed to update it later in my career. The mock interviews helped me to better prepare for different types of interviews. This was especially useful to me as I had to have multiple interviews on short notice for my current job, and knowing how to prepare mentally played a pivotal role. In addition to this, the interviews also improved my self-confidence and helped me to understand how to effectively communicate in this setting. I learned the importance of networking and building working relationships, which can make your journey through your career a rewarding one. I also realized the importance of LinkedIn and its function in the world of work. LinkedIn was one of the main reasons I am where I am today, as it gave me an opportunity I didn't think was available to me. And finally, having my resume in the database of recent graduates who have completed the World of Work program This helped me to get my first job, which I worked at for 7 years, building my experience and knowledge. All of these ingredients mixed together was the fuel that powered the rocket that was strapped to my back when the opportunity of a lifetime came around. I would not be where I am today without the World of Work program. I would recommend all of you to learn as much as you can because it really does make an impact in the real world of work. And lastly, my advice to all of you is even if you think it may be impossible, keep shooting for the stars. You never know where you might end up. Thank you.
Students, you've heard it, and you'll hear a lot more from past World of Work participants from the mouth of a game changer, Satish Singh. I would now like to introduce to you Professor Inda Ramnarayan, Campus Deputy Principal, to bring greetings on behalf of the St. Augustine Campus Executive Management.
Thank you very much, Kathy-Ann. Deans, heads, and members of staff of the UWI St. Augustine campus, Dr. Deirdre Charles, Director of the Division of Student Services and Development, other directors, and I would like to acknowledge the presence of our Director of Marketing and Communications, Mrs. Bunel Gregorio. I am also seeing somewhere, I saw her before, our Director of Human Resources, Mrs. Corinne Copeland-Campbell. Welcome. Of course, a special welcome to our featured speaker, Mr. Ryan Asio, Director, Advisors Nextdoor Limited, Mrs. Michelle Dindial, Brand Sales Manager of Republic Bank Limited. Welcome, Mrs. Dindial, and thanks again for your unwavering support. Representative of the Guild of Students, company representatives, and other specially invited guests, final year students, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, everyone. I'm very pleased to be here with you this afternoon as we embark on yet another period of transition, moving from student to employee. Armed with unparalleled resilience and adaptability, you have emerged from the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic with a distinct edge. Even though you have faced setbacks from missed in-person classes during the pandemic, I am convinced that these very experiences have crafted a strength and perspective in you that sets you apart from those who came before. Indeed, you have positively demonstrated that you have the grit, determination, and the persistence to succeed in the face of an unprecedented challenge. You have not only survived, you have conquered. That in itself is a huge advantage and will serve you well in your personal life as much as within a professional work environment. As a cohort, you're about to face yet another unknown, the world of work. Transitioning from the familiar to the unknown might feel daunting, but remember, you're not merely moving forward, you're being guided and equipped over the coming months. You will be counseled and advised so that you develop the required skills and competencies to navigate a 21st century work environment. For those considering further academic pursuits, know that the insights and experiences from this transition will significantly amplify your future endeavors. Let me assure you that the learnings you receive during World of Work will be of immense benefit to you. The world of work is not just another step. It is your launch pad. In the 2022 Employer Perception Study, our Campus Office of Planning and Institutional Research, which we refer to as COPIR, sought feedback from employees or from employers about their experience recruiting graduates from the UWI St. Augustine campus. Standing at the cusp of your career, it is not just work experience that employers prioritize. They're scouting for emotional intelligence, and this is exactly what Katya stressed on. They are looking for a deep-seated ability to flourish in environments where teamwork is paramount and hand-holding the newcomer isn't the norm. Recent employer surveys underscore a pivotal need. Graduates who strike a compelling balance between sterling academic credentials and real work experience, which encompasses internships and volunteerism, are in high demand. As we arm you with the vital tools for your imminent career launch in the coming months, the survey pinpointed 3 cornerstones of an exceptional employee. And these are just 3, there are many more. Professionalism, communication skills, and teamwork. It is imperative to recognize that these aren't just skills to be learned. They are attributes to be nurtured and honed by you with intention and diligence. As you step into unfamiliar terrain, my advice to you is to walk with humility and grant yourself the grace to absorb as much as you can about the culture and the institution. As you go forward, give your new colleagues time to truly get to know you. And although universal admiration may not always be possible, the respect for your dedication should be beyond question. On behalf of the campus, I wish to extend my profound gratitude to Republic Bank Limited, who has partnered with the St. Augustine campus over the years, especially in bringing the World of Work to life. Your unwavering support of our multifaceted initiatives empowers our students, equipping them with the necessary skills for effectiveness in the professional realm. We very much look forward to your continued support in the years ahead. Our appreciation must go as well to the individuals and organizations who are contributing to this year-long initiative, including our guest speaker today, Mr. Ryan Askew, who will speak on sustainability and climate change. Considering that we are in a yellow heat alert until the end of October, and we are also experiencing adverse weather conditions, I'm not sure whether there's any flooding that's happening now, his talk is most timely, as we and all other vulnerable small island developing states face the climate crisis. I must congratulate once again the entire team of the Division of Student Services and Development, led by the outstanding, hardworking Dr. Deirdre Charles. They have had your back from day one of your entry to this campus, from day one, probably even before day one. And continue to do so as you ready yourself to exit. Thank you very much, DSSD. You continue to amaze us with your dedication to the physical, emotional, and mental well-being of our students. In closing, I remind our soon-to-be UWI graduates of the pledge taken at your matriculation ceremony a couple of years back. Matriculation signaled the laying of the foundation of your academic journey with us. You now have a strong foundation on which to build and to grow. Now in our 75th year, the University of the West Indies has also done a lot of building and growing, in which is a relatively short period of time. Soon the baton will pass to you, and it will be up to you to continue UWI's tradition, UWI's fine tradition of service to the nation and the region. Our first graduates came into a post-World War II colonial environment. In fact, yesterday, 4th of October, 75 years ago, that is when the first classes were held in Mona. Medical students in an old wooden building, 33 medical students, 4th of October, 1948. And I'm told a couple of them are still alive. They'll probably be approaching their century, but they're still alive. But students, your times are immensely different. but the expectations we have of you are as great as theirs were. Remember, you are the UWI. You are that one person who brings the unique Caribbean elan, creativity, problem-solving ability to any situation, wherever in the world you may end up. We are extremely proud of the person you have become and look forward to seeing you make that mark in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Ramnarine, Deputy Principal, and students. I want to reiterate, this is the UWI, but you are UWI. And Professor Ramnarine encouraged you to exhibit behaviors which reflect emotional intelligence, teamwork. He encouraged you to walk in humility. And I really love this, Professor Ramnarine. He says, you have not only survived, you have conquered. And I want to remind you of that anytime there's an obstacle in front of you. At this point, I would like to introduce another one of our World of Work alumni, Ms. Alyssa Huggins.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Alyssa Huggins, and I graduated from the University of the West Indies in 2019 with a BA in Communication Studies and a minor in Human Resource Management. And my career journey has undoubtedly been impacted by the World of Work program. The program has allowed me to gain invaluable skills, practical experience, which has prepared me for the transition from being a student to a professional, a young professional. So I know that many of you may be in the auditorium wondering how this program might impact your career. So therefore, I'll talk about the impact that it had on mine. So I remember that I attended the UWI Career Fair in SPEC in my second year, and I was passing through SAC, and my peers were like, why even bothering? Go into that. They all had negative things to say, and they held the belief that if you attended the fair, you would only receive company merchandise, right? And I know that some of you may have that same notion. But instead I felt if I definitely don't attend the fair, then I would definitely not get an opportunity, right? So I attended the fair nonetheless. And in my second and final year, a total of 4 companies did reach out to me. And I was successful with 2 amazing opportunities. So I got the opportunity to work as a management trainee for an international home improvement company. And as part of that internship or trainee management program, I got the opportunity to deliver a final presentation in Miami to senior stakeholders. And then in my second opportunity, I was able to do a joint graduate program with an international manufacturing company as well as an international bank here in Trinidad. And those 2 experiences definitely prepared me for my current role where I'm a recruitment coordinator at Deloitte. So I support recruitment efforts across the Caribbean, so that entails working on recruitment and of course special projects. So luckily, I had continuous employment opportunities since I've graduated. And I believe the World of Work program definitely opened the way for me to kickstart my career and help me to create major milestones even as a young professional. So I'm happy to say that I took advantage of every section and segment of the program, and I know that Thursday 1 to 4 is your free time. You may want to go in SAC, play all fours, right? But this program is definitely the value add that I envisioned it to be. I was intentional about the companies that I wanted to talk to and network with, but I also was open-minded to connect with companies outside of my scope. So I'd recommend that you attend each session, actively participate, and make lasting connections with your peers. And I also want to especially thank the program organizers as well as the sponsors. Since I was a student, I know that RBL was always on board. So I want to thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you take all the program has to offer.
Thank you so much, Alyssa, and I reiterate, students, take advantage of all the program has to offer. And there are a lot of different segments, and we'll be speaking about that as the program goes on. So before I introduce the next speaker, you all have been hearing, Alyssa said, even when they told her not to attend the session, thank you for doubting them, Alyssa, and testifying. But even then, the sponsor was the same, RBL. And so students, in this quest for adulting, RBL continues to partner with us. And I don't know if they opened it up for us. I'm saying us because we are the same. But I don't know if they did it for us, but it so happens they have a new initiative where they are not only supporting you through the World of Work program, but they are supporting you in your quest, in your adulting. So they have one requirement. They have a lot of giveaways. It's going to be at every session they have giveaways, but at the end, if you do this, I understand. So I'm doing it as well because I want to be in the runnings for whatever that big item is. So if I'm going to allow you in this class to open Instagram, Adulting with Republic. Let's search for Adulting with Republic. And of course, I don't have to tell you all know, like and follow. So, and share, yes, I'm sorry guys. Like, follow, share the page, right? Once you have done that, take a selfie at the launch today. So guys, just to be sure, I want to see people behind you. Make the W for wow, R for Republic. And so they are asking you as well to post and tag that page, Adulting, that's right, Adulting with Republic. And so including today and throughout the program, they have a number of giveaways, and then I encourage you to try, but I think I'm gonna win that big ticket item at the end. And so I would like to invite Mrs. Michelle Dindial, Branch Sales Manager of Republic UWI St. Augustine campus, to bring greetings on behalf of our unstinting sponsor.
Professor Inder Ramnarayan, Deputy Principal, and other members of the campus executive management team, the UWI St. Augustine, deans, heads of, and members of staff, the UWI St. Augustine, Dr. Deirdre Charles, Director of the Division of Student Services and Development, and other directors of the UWI St. Augustine, feature speaker, Mr. Ryan S.U., Director of Advisors Next Door Limited, other managers and officers of Republic Bank Limited, representative of the Guild of Students, the UWI St. Augustine, company representatives, and other specially invited guests, finally, as students of UWI, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome. It gives me great pleasure to join in celebrating another launch of the UWI World of Work program, fondly referred to as WOW. Students, we are happy that you have taken the step to be part of this program, and I recommend taking World of Work seriously. Learn everything you can and ask all the questions you want. Do this, and World of Work will be one of your most memorable and useful experiences of your university life. World of Work is especially designed to empower future leaders like you and help you achieve your goals. Transitioning from student to work life is difficult, but be ready to learn the skills needed for your dream career. Professional planning is the first step in achieving your career goals. The various aspects of World of Work will help you to make up this plan. Warning, things don't always go as planned, but that's okay. This program will equip you with knowledge and skills required to pivot as required. Considering this, you'll see why World of Work is so useful, as it serves as the first step in preparing you for the challenges of the working world, which will be beyond your specialist study. World of Work will offer curriculum vitae writing workshops, mock interview sessions with panelists from leading Trinidad and Tobago companies, and a recruitment fair where you can learn about local companies looking to hire top university graduates. We at Republic Bank are delighted to provide another year of World of Work support to the University of the West Indies. After 17 years of partnership with UWI, we still believe World of Work is one of the best and most comprehensive career and personal development programs in the country and in the region. Coordination of such an event is difficult, and so I would like to thank all the teams involved in making this happen. Your commitment, effort, and dedication to this cause is a tireless labor of love, and the fruits of our labor are seen in the thousands of young adults we have helped to develop together. To that end, I wish you, the students, all the best, and continue to be the light rising in the West. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Dindial. I'm smiling, guys. I'll repeat. I don't think she said one of the best. I think she said the best career development initiative in the world, country, right, and the region. So that's the world, right? So as Ms. Dindial encouraged you guys, it's a lot, but we take it on, as the Deputy Principal says, as part of the division, wholeheartedly. We love it, and we have a passion for it. And remember, you are UWI. At this point, I would like to bring up another one of our World of Work alums to give his testimonial of his experiences of the program.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. All protocols observed. I would like to begin by thanking the DSSD team for inviting me to be part of this launch initiative this afternoon. I remain forever grateful to the department for the role that they have played in my personal and professional development since I was a student at the university to today. I'm currently a geographer, an environmentalist, and a journalist. I am the Cropper Foundation's project coordinator and editor of the Caribou Environmental News Network. And I'm also a proud writer of the UWI Today magazine. And I am also a former reporter at the Trinidad and Tobago newspaper. Something that I always like to say is that I am a proud graduate of the University of the West Indies in 2018. I would have graduated from the Department of Geography with a double major in Geography and Environmental and Natural Resource Management. And in 2020, I graduated from the Department of Life Sciences with my master's in Biodiversity Conservation and Sustainable Development in the Caribbean. So reflecting on my career path so far, it is very important to highlight the role that engaging in extracurricular activities as well as the World of Work program would have had on my personal and professional development. Because you see, regardless of whatever field you decide to go into upon graduating from the university, as some of the presenters before me would have noted, there are fundamental skills that you have to apply to wherever you are planted to grow in the career world. And I would like to focus on two of those skills, those being communications as well as networking. So as you would already know, the World of Work program have many different aspects to it, but I would like to highlight three specific aspects that helps you hone that communications and networking skills. That'll be the resume writing segment, the mock interview, as well as the networking event. Because you see, in order to get a job, you need to, of course, communicate effectively what you bring to an organization, an institution, and that is critical on your resume. I would say that it was very helpful in helping me craft my resume, which I continue to use to today to not only place what is important there to catch the attention of recruiters, but also, of course, look visually neat and presentable. In regards to the mock interview, of course, it's also important that you are able to communicate your skills directly to recruiters and interviewers in an interview settings. So at that interview session, I encourage you to take it very seriously. I would have been one of the mock interviewers this year, and I would have interacted with a lot of young individuals like yourself who were really grateful for the feedback that we would have given, because a lot of them, as we would have told them, is to just be comfortable and express your skills and value to your potential employers. And lastly, I would like to highlight the skills that the networking event towards the end of the World of Work program would bring to you into the real world. You see, it's very important to be able to navigate a room and interact with different people and not only give a pitch, like a sales pitch of what you could bring as a potential employee to an organization, but just getting your name in that room, because at that networking event, there are going to be a lot of different recruiters from many different agencies and companies, and you never know who you will talk to, because I would have spoken to many of them, and they keep your contact. Sometimes if you walk with like a business card or something, they might give you it, or they may also take your business card. And while you may not get employed on the spot, what you are doing is planting the seed, putting your name in a room so people could be aware of who you are. As well as practically, in December, I would have had the opportunity to be a youth delegate at the 2022 United Nations Biodiversity Conference in Montreal, and it was similar to that networking event in that there were stakeholders from around the world who are passionate about environmental issues. And I imagined myself like being in the World of Work program, speaking to those stakeholders and not only sharing the work I'm doing, but also learning from them. So I always say that young people are not the leaders of the future, we are the leaders of now. So from now, it's important that you continue to craft these skills and what you contribute to the world, not only the world of work, no pun intended, but also to the world at large. So I encourage you to participate in all aspects of this program and continue to be part of the group of change makers that the University of the West Indies continue to produce. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Terrell. I had a little bit to say, but as you all would say less, right? He did it all. And so it gives me great pleasure at this point to introduce to you the featured speaker for today's session. Mr. Ryan Assew is an award-winning sustainability and climate change professional with 10 years of experience in developing, managing, and executing projects with a combined value of over 87 million US dollars in the Caribbean. He specializes in understanding the interactions between environmental and social systems and develops tools, policies, and programs that mitigate adverse impacts and enhance benefits. His career spans environmental science, policy, and finance, and his areas of technical expertise include green banking. Guys, speak about skills and competencies. Green banking, private sector engagement, and international climate policy. Ryan is well-versed in strategic planning and stakeholder engagement, buttressed by extensive experience as an environmental regulator, consultant, and donor. He has worked in over 11 Caribbean countries to support a number of initiatives, including collaboration with IFRC, UNDP, and USAID. His work is closely linked to disaster mitigation, climate change adaptation, and renewable energy. Among his proudest achievements include preparing Trinidad and Tobago's national environmental policy, long-term low emissions development strategy, national adaptation plan, and updated national climate change policy. Supporting organizations in achieving GCF, accreditation, and access to GCF money in Trinidad and Tobago and Belize. Preparing sustainability strategies and green financial products for development and commercial banks in the Caribbean. Ryan earned a Bachelor of Science degree and honors in Environmental and Natural Resource Management from the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus. And he did this in 2011, which granted him a national scholarship to pursue dual master's degree in sustainable development and climate change from Antioch University in New England. In 2021, he became the first national of Trinidad and Tobago to be certified in environmental and social risk assessment for financial institutions. He holds membership to the Association of Environmental and Resource Economists, Global Association of Risk Professionals, Institute of Environmental Management and Assessment, and International Society of Sustainability Professionals. In 2020, Ryan founded Advisors Next Door Limited, a youth-led multidisciplinary consulting firm that provides environmental, finance, and business development services to Caribbean governments and organizations. The company offers an intensive youth mentorship program to prepare students and graduates for a career in the development sector and is fully staffed by the prestigious 2021 National Youth Award for Excellence in Science and Technology. His staffing includes persons all under the age of 35. At present, Ryan serves as the Climate Finance Specialist for the Eastern and Southern Caribbean Mission of USAID, where he supports a US $70 million portfolio across 11 countries. And students, today, he's here to bring greetings and to deliver our fifth year address. Let's welcome Ryan Asir.
Kathy, thank you so much for that bio and that great build-up. I really wish I wrote down my address to deliver to you. But I do have a presentation to deliver that I know they will pull up. But first, the formalities. Professor Indar Ramnarayan, Deputy Principal of the University of the West Indies, and other members of the Executive Management Team, Deans, Heads, and members of staff of the UWI St. Augustine campus. Dr. Deidre Charles, Director of the DSSD, and other directors at the UWI St. Augustine campus. Ms. Michelle Dindial, Branch Sales Manager of the UWI branch of Republic Bank Limited. Representatives of the Guild of Students, UWI St. Augustine, company representatives, specially invited guests, and most importantly, final year students here at the University of the West Indies. It was 12 years ago since I sat in this auditorium in the seats that you are sitting in today as a student myself. And 12 years ago as a student, I remember a few things about my university experience. I remember eating Yvette pies and being fueled to go to long labs in natural sciences, where I learned from Professor Ramnarayan, Professor Gobin, Professor Agard, true titans and lights rising in the West when it comes to the environmental field. I remember going to SAC and playing All Fours very often, where I would build relationships with other students who 10 years later would become award winners and leaders in industry. I remember going to JFK Auditorium, and there I would see for the first time the young lady who would later become my wife. A round of applause for that. But what I do not remember is I do not remember any feature address of any event that I attended at UWI. So to not fall into that category of speaker, I've decided to craft this address very much like the skirt of my wife that day that I saw her, short enough to be interesting, but long enough to cover the important parts. Professor Ramnarayan, I want to say that I am not here to talk about climate change. It is my wheelhouse, it's my specialization, and I know Kathy Ann would have spoken great about all the things I've achieved in that area. But in my career, I have traversed the environmental sector, the development sector, and I continue to support young people like you in achieving the careers of their dreams. So what I want to do today is instead talk to you about what I consider to be the ultimate career framework. And it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. I'm going to start off with one confession. I'm going to then say or tell you about 2 concepts that compose what I call the ultimate career framework, and then I'm going to end with 3 pieces of advice. Does that sound good? All right, very good. So, like all good stories, it starts off once upon a time. I want you to imagine once upon a time. The year is 1996, probably before most of you were born. But But 1996, in the rural area of Princestown, on an orphan road in the cane fields, there's a woman. And she wakes up every day, and this is her daily routine. She prepares food and raises 3 of her kids, goes to work at a local bank where she has been since she was 16 years old, and after a day of work comes home, drops off her things, picks up her books, drives from Princestown to Cipriani College, where she studies what it takes to advance in leadership. Because in her time, all you needed was CXC after you left to get a job. But to advance in your career, you needed much more. She would get back home from Cipriani College and then work with her kids to do their homework for school before repeating this again and again. And there's a young boy in that story. Enter the Gaza youth. And that's me looking at my mother, wondering why this 27-year-old woman, of course to me, 5 foot 4 inches, but to me, a giant, is still studying and still going to school. And even though I would play pretend and fight wars and do all sorts of things that a child would do, there was a little battle in my mind, which is, I'm already about 6 years old, and I'm tired of going to school. Why is she still going to school? So I go and I speak to my mom, and I ask her, as she's there studying to get into her promotion to management, reading books by John Maxwell, Dale Carnegie, and others. And I say, Mom, tell me, when would school be over? When would I need to, what is going on with life, right? Tell me, give me the plan. And she tells me this, and this might be a story that you might be familiar with, right? She explains to me, she says, as a child, here's what you need to do, Ryan. You need to go to school, and after primary school, you're gonna write, at the time, it was common entrance. You're gonna write common entrance, and you're gonna get a piece of paper with a grade. And then after that piece of paper, you're gonna go to secondary school, and you're gonna write CXC and get a piece of paper with a grade. And then you're gonna do A-levels and get a piece of paper with a grade. By that time, you'll be about 18 years old, which to a 6-year-old is forever ahead. And then after that, she said, you're gonna go to the university and you're going to get a degree. And after that degree, your first degree, you're going to get a master's degree. And then after that, you get a job. A straight line, a straight career path. Just broken down to that, to a 6-year-old. I guess she's talking to a 6-year-old, right? So she makes it really simple. But what my mother did in that moment is she mapped out something in my mind. She gave me a purpose and something that I would plan for from that moment for all. I wanted to finish school. I wanted to stop studying. So I decided at 6 years old, I was going to be as efficient as possible to run through that ladder. So I did what every person would do. I studied, I went through SCA, I did all those things. And eventually, it landed me to early acceptance here at the University of the West Indies, where I would be offered a spot in the environmental program here. But there is a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And in that book, Stephen Covey says you should always begin with the end in mind. And I knew that in this ladder, after my BSc, I had to do my master's, and I knew that I couldn't afford to do that. So the only way for that to happen was for me to get a scholarship. And at the time, it meant that I had to attain first-class honors. So to come into the University of the West Indies, I came in with a plan. And that plan was to get as many A's as possible, to get first-class honors. I was not particularly interested, don't tell my professors, in the actual subjects of the lessons of the class. I just needed to get the end result because I knew that was my ticket to the next level of the ladder. And that's what I did. I came to the University of the West Indies and I would have attended my classes, and UWI would have taught me many things, probably some things that it didn't expect to teach me. Because when I was in the classes with Professor Ramnarayan, or when I was in the classes with Professor Agard, I learned that when I have to write 3 essays in 2 hours, I don't need to be a perfect writer. They're not correcting my grammar, they're not correcting my writing style. They have a rubric, a framework. There's certain things that they're looking for that they need to tick to give me all the marks that I need to get. And then in that moment, I realized that there's more to school than just the subject in front of me. There's a system. And if I could understand the system that I'm in, I could then take advantage of that system to get the results that I want. And with that in mind, I started to be more strategic about who I made friends with and the classes that I took. And I started to speak to people when I was in year 1 and year 3 and ask them, hey, what are the best classes to take? What are the easiest classes to get A's in? How do you all get A's? What are your past papers like? And then in that process, I started to gather information, do past papers, meet professors in office hours. By the time an exam rolled around, I was 100% confident that I would succeed because there was hardly any question that could come that I hadn't already answered and presented to a professor during the term to get their feedback on. I was so confident that I was able to achieve my goals and I was able to get that scholarship to do my master's. I got my early acceptance into my master's program. And here's the first part, here's the confession. So confident was I that in my final year in 2011, I wrote my last exam at Coastal Resources, hard exam. Professor Gobin used to write really difficult exams. And then when I finished that exam, I already knew that I was going to get my last A. I left to go to the US, and I did not even stay for the world of work. I did not stay for graduation, and I was already on my next level in the ladder because in my mind, trying to get through this as fast as possible. And for my friends, this is my graduation pictures because my friends did miss me, so they expertly photoshopped my face onto their graduation pictures so I could be part of that memory. So I did it. I achieved the goal. I went forward. I did my master's degree. I followed the plan precisely as my mother had explained to me. And then when I came back to Trinidad and Tobago, as I was expected as a scholarship winner, they tell you, you have to come back and work here. I came back to find a situation. But before I get to that situation, let me tell you, in summary, what my UWI experience, as brief as it was, what it meant to me and what it taught me. It taught me that before you beat a system, you have to understand the system. Professor Ramnarayan came here and called you all game changers. If you have to change a game, you have to understand the game first. That's very important. In anything that you do, it doesn't matter whether you're in the environmental sector, in business, in IT, whatever career you aspire to be in, you have to understand the rules and the system first if you hope to change it for the better. The second thing that UWI taught me is that you have to be efficient with processes, but effective with people. And that's a very powerful note when it comes to speaking about soft skills and hard skills. You could be very effective at writing past papers. You could be efficient at completing an essay. But when it comes to people and a social network, it takes time to build trust, to build camaraderie. And don't get those things confused. In this life and in your careers, you need to be able to be efficient with the processes you take and very effective at building relationships. And the final thing that UWI taught me is that your major is a stepping stone, not an anchor, right? And I say that to you because I want you to understand that sometimes, and I saw it with my peers back then, I see it with the graduates that we see now coming out of world of work. They think that what specialization they have on their BSc limits them to what careers they could go into. It doesn't, right? That BSc, that piece of paper is just your ticket to the next step. The same way that after you finish CXC, no one asks you what your SEA grades was. The same way when you get your degree, no one will ask you what your CXC is. Once you graduate with this university degree and you start your job, they're not really gonna ask you what your degree is in necessarily either. And I want you to understand that. All a BSc tells an employer, speaking as an employer myself, is that you have the ability to learn. That is all it says, right? BSc, right? It means that you could build strategic connections. That's what it means. It means that you could be smart in contributions. It just means that you are able to think, and that is what your degree means. And that's what my degree meant to me when I left the University of the West Indies. So I'm able to think, I go do my master's, everything is good, I'm coming back home, I get into Trinidad and Tobago, and this is what I find. Nothing. My mom made it seem so simple to me. After I get my master's, I come back home, there's a job. But where's the job? There is none, right? And this is me coming back home in 2013, 10 years ago, to come back to find that even though I got this scholarship and they're supposed to place me, I go to my placement officer and she tells me there is no job. Go find one, right? And then this is a situation, and although it's my story and that's true, it is something that you are also going to face as well. You have conquered COVID, you've gone through your degree programs, and you have gone through a serious obstacle. But there is a great obstacle ahead of you when you leave the University of the West Indies. And this is not a secret. I know that many of your professors, your parents, and other people may try to say it gently, but I want to really say it to you bluntly, that for you, the situation would also be very dire. On the other side of the door is a great challenge. What you're looking at, these are what you call University of the West Indies tracer surveys. This is when they speak to graduates and they measure the success rates and the performance of university graduates. This is the tracer survey data from 2019, not too long ago, right? And what it shows you when you look at these tracer survey data is that the amount of UWI graduates being employed, not as a reflection of UWI, but just the world of work, the marketplace itself, is less and less. And there is a quote extracted from this report from your own university that tells you that young graduates are not prepared for the competitive and harsh labor market conditions due to not having proper career guidance. Now, of course, this is from 2019. And of course, the fact that you are all here already sets you ahead of the hundreds of other graduates that are not here, in that you have decided that you are going to be part of the world of work, that you are going to take a step in the right direction. But I want you to understand that this is not easy. To me, this is how I see it in my mind. From primary school to university graduation, I was learning to crawl, to walk, to run, to sprint. And then when you get into the world of work, it's like they throw you in a swimming pool and tell you to swim. You've learned a certain skill. You've become really great at academic writing. But that's not necessarily the skill sets that get rewarded in the world, or in the actual workplace. Those things you develop through the World of Work program, thanks to Republic Bank, thanks to the great work at the DSSD. What I want you to understand, and this was my lesson, because I miscalibrated at 6 years old listening to my mom. A career, far less a successful career, is not automatic. It's not a ladder where one step leads to the other one. You are going to enter as a player in a game that is stacked against you, and only through your effort will you find success. I'm going to say that again because it's really important. I want you to understand that you're going to enter a game where the odds are stacked against you, and it's only through your individual effort will you be able to find success. There's no one, as an employer, there's no one here just looking at this crowd and saying, hey, that person over there, you, I'm going to just give you a job and give you money, and then I recognize your hard work and I'll promote you. You have to develop these skills, the hard skills, the soft skills, and you need to put in that effort and participate in this unfair game to be there. Now, understanding this, I want you to look at this data, and two stories. In 2013, I remember watching the IAF championships, and J. Hugh Gordon, which is one of our sprinters, was running. And he ran this race, he got gold, and he came first place. His time was 47 seconds, 0.69. These were for the 400-meter hurdles. Second place was 47.70. The difference between gold and silver was 0.01 of a second, very slightly. When you enter the workplace, this is the kind of workplace you enter where the top CEOs in the companies in America, they make 320 times the salary as their lowest rung employee. But the question is this: do you think that the CEOs of a company are 320 times smarter? Do you think that they're 320 times more hardworking? Or are they like J. Hugh Gordon, that they just have a slight difference between 320 times and where you'll probably be entering? To demonstrate this for you, I want to, and let me take a little step back. This is the first of two concepts. I told you the confession. The confession is I didn't go to my graduation. The two concepts are, one, the slight edge. And we're going to do an exercise to demonstrate the slight edge with all of you. I see some of you are coming from class. You have your bags. So what I want to do is I want to invite you to take out your pens, take out some paper, and we're going to do a quick exercise, 15 seconds. For those of you who don't have that, if you have a phone, you could use the note function on your phone, but it'll be fun, I promise. 15 seconds. All right, so here's what's going to happen, right? I'm going to pull up the timer function on my phone, stopwatch. All right. So get your pen and paper ready. I'm going to change the slide. And on the slide right after this, there are going to be a whole bunch of numbers all over the screen, right? Numbers 1 through 50. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Numbers scattered all over the screen, right? What I want you to do, I want you to look at the screen, look at the numbers, and I want you to find the numbers in sequential order. So I want you to find number 1, then find number 2, then find number 3. You all understand? And then I'm going to change the slide after 15 seconds. So after 15 seconds, you're just going to take a note of how many numbers you found, right? You all ready? You all ready? Yeah. All right. So we're going to start 15 seconds on the clock. Time's up. Good. So you were supposed to find some numbers. So how many people found 1? All right, yeah, look at that. How many people found 2? 3. Less hands. 4. All right, 5. All right, 6. Hardly anyone. 6, 7. A couple people, all right, good. But for the majority of you, in that 15 seconds, you see you only found about, let's say about 4 to 5 numbers, right? So here's what I'm going to do, right? New rules, a slight edge. I'm going to give you another set of instructions, a little bit more information. When I change the slide this time, 15 seconds, you're going to see a grid, 4 boxes dividing the slide. And on the top left side, the first number, number 1, is going to be in that quadrant. Number 2 is going to be in the top right. Number 3 will be in the bottom left. Number 4 will be in the bottom right. And repeats over and over, right? Top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. You all understand what I'm saying? All right, we're going to do this again, 15 seconds. I want to see how many numbers you all could find, right? Ready? Stopwatch ready. Go. Stop. "15 seconds, all right? So I don't need to go through every number again, but I want to ask you, did you all find more numbers this time than the last time? Yes? All right. So I said the average last time was about 4. How many people found 4 this time? Almost everybody. How many people found 6 this time? More than that. What's the highest number? Let me hear some numbers. What's the highest number y'all got? 11, I heard 11. 15. All right, good. The idea is this, right? This is what the slight edge is, and this is why I call it part of the ultimate career framework. What I want you to understand is that the difference between a highly successful person, someone who achieves the most in their career, the person who achieves all of the things that they want and the goals for themselves, all they have as their slight edge is a slight difference in thinking. The slight edge is about the way that you perceive the world and perceive a challenge. And you saw in this example just a slight change in perception, a slight bit of different information changing from looking at a random set of data to understanding that they're spaced in a different way, changes your performance drastically. This is really important for you to understand as Gen Z students, because I know that there's a lot of clutter and a lot of noise that comes across to you all as young people, as Gen Zs, that tries to tell you things like when you go into the workplace, you have to act your wage. If they don't pay you enough, then you don't have to do hard work, that you don't have to do things. You would hear a lot of different talk. You would see a lot of newspaper articles talking about unemployment, and you would even hear from your own peers the struggles that they will have to find a job. The difference is I want you to take all of that and push it out of your mind. Because for you, as the distinctive UE graduates that you are going to be, as the proactive graduates that are here at the launch of World of Work, you all have taken away one very important lesson, which is that it's very important for you to perceive things in an informed way. As you change your thoughts, the world around you changes, and your ability to succeed drastically changes. The second concept, apart from the slight edge, is a concept of what we call the performance and social currencies, adapted from Ms. Carla Harris. And this is a special tool that I want to share with you, and this is what I think is going to help you become extremely successful. If you think that my career and environment has been great, I know that whatever career awaits you in your chosen fields will be even greater the sooner you internalize this message. You need to understand, and this is the cross, right, on the scattered information. You need to understand that the most impactful decisions about your career will be made in a room that you are not in. The decision to hire you, that's going to be made by people who are deciding that in a room that you are not in. The decision to give you a promotion, it's people in a room that you're not in, that room that you're not in. To give you a raise, it's people in a room that you are not in. So your number one career goal, no matter your chosen field, should be to live rent-free in the minds of what we call a sponsor or a decision maker, somebody who could help you ascend. It is not who you know, but it's who knows you, and that's critical. I'm gonna say that again. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. And I don't mean that, oh, I just know Tyrell Gittins, I'm just gonna give him a job. But who knows you as Tyrell, I know him. He's dependable and reliable, and he was a good journalist, and he's the lead Caribbean News. It's very important in your careers that you are able to elevate yourselves individually so that the decision makers, the thought leaders, the industry players recognize who you are and are able to remember you. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. You all ready for that? All right. To attract a sponsor or to live rent-free in someone's mind, you have to first understand what are the resources that you have available as young people. And then you have to figure out how to convert those resources into what we call currencies. The resources that all of you have are money, time, and energy. And depending on where you are in life, you have more of one and less of the other, right? But I put them in a triangle because I want you to understand that they're interdependent. If you want to make money, it's going to cost you energy. You're going to have to do work, and then you're going to have to do work over time to generate money. If you want time for yourself, you're probably going to have to spend money so that people could take up responsibilities that you would have to attend to and spend energy, your personal life energy, planning a trip, going on a trip, doing whatever you need to do. These three resources are the resources that all of you have: time, energy, and money. And as new graduates, you generally have a lot of time and a lot of energy, right? As young people, that is your most abundant resource. And you need to use those resources, especially in your early career, to develop two types of currencies: performance and social, or performance and relationship. What I would say is that in your 20s, I know it's really tempting to chase the dollar, right? Everybody wants to chase the money, but I'll tell you what one of my mentors told me, which is that your 20s are your learning years, and your 30s will be your earning years, right? And I want you to remember that in your 20s, probably for the next 7 to 10 years, depending on how old you are right now in the room, right? Your main objective should be learning. You should be developing the skill sets, developing the connections, learning the game that you're playing. And then later on, you'll be able to leverage that into high-paying jobs. There aren't very much high-paying jobs. In fact, you're going to enter into quite a conundrum as new graduates where they're going to tell you you need experience to get a job, and you can't get a job because you don't have experience, right? And a little bit of a cycle. So focus on the learning. Focus on spending your time and energy to give you what you need. You're going to take these three things and you're going to change them into two currencies. On the next slide, I'll tell you what those currencies mean, but what I want you to observe first is just how they develop over time in your career success. The blue line represents what we call performance, and the orange line represents relationships. And over time, I want you to see that your performance, your ability to be really good at what you are trained to do, be the best accountant, be a really good engineer, that will help you early in your career. You'll get promoted, you'll advance, and you will do well based on performance. But after a while, performance plateaus. And what's going to actually help you ascend into higher levels of any organization or any career will be your relationships and who knows you and knows what you're capable of. That's why relationship currency grows exponentially and performance currency logarithmic, right? It plateaus. So what are these two currencies I'm talking about? What am I trying to tell you to spend your time, money, and energy on? Performance currency is generated when you deliver what is expected of you and a little bit more. If it works just like how our stock market would work. If a company on the stock market says they're going to return to their shareholders 15 cents, and then they return 40 cents, the stock of that company goes up, right? And it's the same thing here. If you want to be seen as a high performer, you don't need to just do what you're told. You need to do what you're told and a little bit more. And that elevates your performance. That's when you start to be known as someone who could deliver. There are two ways to generate that performance currency. Some of you, I have them as being excellent or being enduring. Some of you are naturally gifted. Some of you may be brilliant, first-class honors, easy A's. You all might be excellent. But being excellent and having honors isn't the only way to develop that performance currency. In the workplace, equally important is the person that is enduring. And I could tell you, as an employer, as someone who's hired young people, some of the people that I love working with the most didn't get first-class honors. They are the people that take feedback, take rejection, and decide that they're going to keep going and keep working, and they develop that performance currency by being enduring. What are you spending your time and energy on? Well, you need to cover the basics. Like I told you, in university, you've learned how to run, and now in the world of work, they're going to throw you in the ocean and tell you to swim. You need to understand the basics of performance. You need to be able to have a strong cover letter, a strong resume. You need to be able to write professional emails. You need to be able to write note-making. It's different from writing notes in a class, right? It's different from sending a university lecturer your email at your UWI STA email account, right? you need to understand these skill sets, because when you go into a work environment, these are the things that your performance will be based on. You need to practice hard, high-value skills, and you need to understand what that means in the industries that you have chosen as your career. I know what they are in climate change and in environment, but it's maybe different in engineering, in IT, in medicine, but you need to understand what are the skills that are most valuable and get into practice doing that. Relationship currency is something that you build by building visibility, by building rapport, and by building trust with other people, right? The value of performance currency is when you start to do work, when you could write the best emails, take the best notes, when you could really deliver in your workplace, people will notice you. And it's important that they notice you, because that is where they will say, hey, that person is a star. You're a star, and I recognize the work that you're doing. You're starting to live rent-free in my brain a little bit, right? And everyone likes to know people who are great success stories. That is your avenue from which you will be able to then build a relationship with someone. When they start to know you and know you as a high achiever or somebody who's enduring, that is when you could talk to them, speak with them, and start to build that relationship. There's some tricks that you could do to build that relationship currency. The first one is to show up, to be consistent, and be proactive. In any workplace, trust what I'm telling you, your boss has 100,000 things going on at any given time, and they don't have the time to hold your hand and tell you how to do things. They need someone who can show up, be consistent, be proactive. And there's some basics that you could invest your resources into to make sure that you're able to develop these relationship skills or these soft skills. You need to be able to introduce yourself. You need to be able to increase your visibility by knowing how to use LinkedIn effectively. You need to know how to be able to network with people, how to meet people in social settings, and to be able to build connections. You need to be able to know how to build trust and maintain those relationships. These are soft skills that Kathy Ann, Professor, others have spoken about at this podium. These are the things that I really want you to know, because these form the ultimate career framework for you. If you are able to internalize these things and go into your career, no matter where they would be, I'm telling you, trust me, I believe, and I strongly believe that you will find success. If you understand this framework, and now that you have this slight edge, it will help you in your career. Step 3, my final 3 pieces of advice. As you prepare to launch into the career of your dreams, I always want you to remember 3 things. The first is that you need to be your authentic self. Don't try to be the next me. Don't try to be the next anybody else. I need you to enter the world of work being who you are, because you are your own unique value proposition. You have something that no one else has, because every experience, every class that you've studied, every person that you've met has shaped you into being the person that you are, and that is valuable and unique. The second thing I want you to remember is that I want you to forgive your parents. The same way that I have to forgive mine for telling me at 6 years old how life worked and it's not how it actually worked, I want you to understand that your parents, they gave you life, and they would have given you advice and guidance based on the world that they grew up in, based on the things that they have seen. You are going into a new unknown, a post-pandemic world that they have no idea how to navigate. But that's okay, because we don't have to depend on our parents to hold our hand through that. It's time for you, as you enter the world of work, to leave the nest and to forgive them, to thank them, and to take it upon yourself to guide your own career with the slight edge that you have. And then the final thing I want to say to you is that don't ever let imposter syndrome creep into your mind. You deserve to be at every table that you are at. If an employer, if someone has selected you to work in a company, to bring you into a meeting, to put you in a place, that's because they've seen you and you deserve to be there. You didn't trick them. And you have an obligation and a right when you are on that table to use your voice. Speak up, because your voice is your power. And I know all of you have the power to change the world and to be the light rising in the West. Thank you.
Ryan, my God, thank you so much. Students, let's give him a round of applause again. Excellent. Excellent advice. But guys, stay for the recruitment fair, okay? Don't leave. But excellent advice, Ryan. I want to thank you. And students, you know, all of the presenters here, including Satish, and included Jehu, who made his presence felt. What do they have in common? They are all graduates of the UWI St. Augustine campus. You are UWI. Give yourselves a round of applause. And so I just wanted to unpack just some main points here. There was so much, but I want to say, Ryan said, be efficient with processes and effective with people. Your major is but a stepping stone, not an anchor. As you change your thoughts, the world around you changes. Leverage your performance currency as well as your relationship currency. And students, I hold to this as well. Find yourself a mentor and a sponsor. They are both important in professional development. So we will post it online, guys, in My Learning, because there's so much we can just sit and learn from that. Thank you again so much, Ryan. And so, guys, all of the presenters here as well, you can expect to see them, and I won't call the names, but sitting among you, we also have industry representatives. And they also have the sole commonality. They'll be here for mock interview. They will be here for recruitment fair. And I'm looking up because I don't want to look specifically at someone, but they are going to be here in a couple of weeks to present on the resume writing session. They will all be here. We collaborate well. So be on the lookout for the emails. But to tell you what's to come next and what we require of you, I'm going to invite Amanda Lewis. You all would have received emails from her, and she's also the one, together with Nyla, that's on the WhatsApp group. Amanda?
So good afternoon again, students, esteemed stakeholders. My job here is simple, to tell you what's next. I want you to stay until the end though, because we still have our grand prizes to announce, right? So, first step, register for the program. Register for the World of Work program. You are here, we thank you. This is our seminar and launch. And so this is the carpets for all of the events we have in store for you, right? We have some QR codes outside posted in different areas. If you have not registered, you can take your phone and scan upon exiting. Follow us on social media. We have a World of Work Facebook page, an Instagram page. We are on YouTube for lovely resources. You all could go on and look on. Our stakeholders have sent us videos, everything to edify you on this process. So please make sure to follow our social media platforms. Now, I want to talk about some of the events we have in store. The next event will be our resume writing workshops. This is next week, Thursday, October 12th. And you will see here, this is for 4 different faculties. We decided, and this is a very strategic move, to split these workshops so that the presenter will give you the information that is relevant for your fields, your targeted fields, targeted industries. Excuse me. So we have social sciences, humanities and education, law, and sports. Next week, Thursday, this resume writing workshop is for you. Of course, you'll continue to get emails and messages from us to remind you, so be on the lookout for that, right? The following Thursday, October 19th, our STEM students. So this is students, engineering, maths, science, technology, food and agriculture, and of course, our med-sci students. So be on the lookout for all the updates. Your workshop is on the 19th of October. Following that, we want you all to be aware you attend the workshop, but now you want some extra help in your resumes. We have resume writing critiques. And so you'll continue to get information from us how you can book your appointment to get your resume critique leading up to what? The recruitment fair. We want to have that resume in top shape, right? After this resume critiques, you'll see all the dates there. We will have another workshop, or two other workshops rather, 2 virtual sessions. And this is again to make sure that you are fully prepared. So you have attended the face-to-face, the first 2, next week Thursday and the following Thursday are face-to-face. These other workshop 3 and 4, resume writing, will be virtual. So of course, once you are registered for the program, you will continue to get information as we draw nearer to the dates. Resume critiques, and of course, we will end for this semester with our resume writing question and answer session. So all your burning questions, if you feel like you still want to get some questions from our stakeholders, this session will be for you. And this will be on November 30th. This will wrap up semester 1 for our calendar of events. We're moving on to semester 2. Just to give you a quick preview, interview preparation. I'm just running it through, I don't want to overwhelm you. Mock interview session, right? Again, it's going to be categorized for your faculty, 2 different sessions, mock interviews. Then our VIP cocktail reception. Now this is by invite only, and this is for students who have stayed and attended the sessions and are showing interest. All the characteristics that our feature speaker would have described, VIP cocktail reception. So guys, we're encouraging you all. We want to see the effort, right? Recruitment fair, and this is, of course, our most anticipated event, but the events that come before is going to help prepare you and equip you to excel and really show up at this recruitment fair. So these are some of the things you have to look forward to next semester, and of course, we want to ensure and remind you, look out at your emails, keep messaging us, reach out to us so that you stay on track. We have a few bonus sessions. In your packages, you would see evaluation forms. We want to hear from you because we're going to do a chit-chat session. And this is for you. Things that you would not have seen in the calendar of events, but you really want to talk about career-wise, of course. Please, we encourage you, give us your feedback and evaluation forms so we could really craft these chit-chat sessions for your benefit, right? Now, without further ado, I would like to announce our winners. And I'm going to have my colleague, Ms. Nyla Romano, here help me. And I'm also going to ask my dearest director, Dr. Deirdre Charles, to help me present to our featured speaker, Mr. Ryan Asu, a token of appreciation, thanking you for your presence and presentation here today. The photos will take it. Yeah. Where's it best? Thank you so much, guys. All right, so we have a big prize winner from our dearest sponsor, RBL. And I'm going to call on Mrs. Michelle Dindial to make this presentation to our winner, Ms. Jada Bellamy. Is Jada here? Yeah. Right. Right. The Adulting with RBL program, guys. So you see the importance of following this page, right? Thank you so much, guys. Right. So before we got here, we had asked our students to pre-register for this program. And we did a random draw. For the persons who are here, let me call and make sure they're here first for this random draw. Karima Thomas, lovely, and Kita Ragu. Lovely. So I'll call Karima Thomas first, and I'm going to ask Mr. Christopher Aid, please, RBL, to present her with this lovely prize. Thank you, guys. I'm going to ask Mrs. Natalie Alfred to present to Ms. Kita Ragu, please, for our second random prize. Thank you. All right, so let me build some excitement in the room. Under your chairs, we have 3 prizes. And if any of our stakeholders, if they're under yours, please give it to the student. 3. So once you've found it, I'll ask you to line up to the front of the stage, please. And I'm going to ask Professor, under your table, my apologies. And I'll ask Professor Ramnarayan to help me with these prize distribution. All right, so I'm seeing one. You could come line up to the front of the stage, please. Only one? Somebody stole the other 2 prizes? Nah, let's check the stakeholder. Where are our stakeholders sitting? Yeah. And for these prizes, we want to make 2. Everybody looked under their tables. I just want to make sure. Under their desks. All right, so we got the 3rd one. So 2 of our prizes were graciously donated by Bermudez. We want to give them thanks as well. You got it? You got one? Excuse me, just take one more with it. Prof, just one more, please. Just for the... Thank you. Thank you, Professor. I'm going to ask Mr. Terrell Gittins to help me with this final prize, please. One more? So guys, in no way or form are these prizes to bribe you. These are not the incentives to do the program. It's a bonus, right? The program is going to give you some lifelong benefits. So thank you again. I want to make mention as well, before we close, in your packages, you see this tracker? Please make it your Bible. We spoke about these competencies and these skills and your currency. Please use this throughout the program to tick off all the competencies you have gained, things that you need to work on, etc. I will now pass you back on to Ms. Lois, Ms. Katian Lois, to deliver the vote of thanks. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Amanda. And on behalf of the University of the West Indies and the Division of Student Services and Development, we'd really like to thank our sponsor, Republic Bank, again for their unstinted support. We want to really say thanks to the faculty, our corporate sponsors that are here with us today. Thank you so much for coming out, and look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. To the faculty representatives, we want to say thanks, and other campus management. Thank you so much. And to you, the students, thank you for coming out today, and we do look forward to see you in the weeks to come. I also want to say thanks to the feature address presenter, Mr. Ryan Asiu, as well as Terrell and Alyssa. And students, you would realize that for most of the presenters here, when you listen to their experience, you would think it has been years, but you would realize they are recent grads using the experiences to chart their own course. So be well. Remember, you have not only survived, you have conquered. So we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. Look forward to emails from us. Join the WhatsApp groups. Follow us on IG, Facebook, and also remember to follow the Adulting with Republic IG profile. Yes? So thank you, and we will see you soon.